Do you know why bears are often called the most insidious creatures in the wild? I didn't, until I found out the truth. And when I did, it sent chills down my spine. My name is Lily, just an ordinary college student. Bored during our school break, my boyfriend Jack and I randomly joined a tour group for a short trip. We didn't expect it would turn into something horrifying. Jack, did you pack everything for the trip? Yeah, it's all here, he replied. Want to double check in case I missed something? Jack was my boyfriend in college. We weren't in the same major, he studied animal management and I was in finance. We didn't meet through school activities either. We met through an online game. Later we added each other and realized we were on the same campus. After meeting up a few times in real life, we became a couple. The day of the trip came quickly. Our destination was a picturesque mountain valley known for its scenic views, and more importantly, the rafting experience. That was the part one was looking forward to the most. No hesitation, I signed us up the moment I saw it. By the time we arrived, it was already past 3 p.m. Our tour guide, Mr. Lee, raised his megaphone and addressed the group. Thank you all for choosing our tour. From here on, I'll be spending the rest of the trip with you. Take a short break now, at 4 o'clock, we'll meet back here to start hiking. Be sure to eat something and get your gear ready before then. Jack and I found a spot and sat down to rest. While he unpacked snacks, I pulled out my phone and started scrolling through TK short videos. Out of curiosity, I searched the name of the valley we were in. Tons of clips popped up, all from tourists who had visited before. After watching a few, I was even more excited about the rest of the trip. On the hike, the group energy was lively and upbeat. And then, what a coincidence, I ran into someone I knew from the game. Well, not really new because we'd never seen each other's faces or real names. In-game, I was Orchid Blade and he was Moon Petal. We instantly recognized each other after exchanging usernames. You're Moon Petal? No way. Orchid Blade? His name was Ray, and he currently worked as an internet cafe manager. What the hell? What are the odds? I laughed. I signed up randomly for this tour, can't believe you're here too. I know, right? What kind of fate is this? We talked nonstop the entire hike, chirping away like we were old friends. Poor Jack was pretty much invisible the whole time. The day's hike eventually wrapped up. That's a wrap for today, Mr. Lee announced. Great job, everyone. Go ahead and set up your tents. If you need help, come find me or one of the safety officers. Tonight, we'll have a bonfire party, and we'll head back down at 6 in the morning. If you want to catch the sunrise, be sure to wake up early. After we hike down, we'll begin the rafting adventure. Finally! I'm already looking forward to rafting, I said. My legs are killing me, someone groaned. You waking up for sunrise tomorrow? Hell no. Way too early. Laughter and chatter echoed across the site. It didn't take long for everyone to get their tents up. We gathered around the campfire, snacking on whatever food we brought. The atmosphere was cozy and relaxed. Make sure your tent zippers are fully closed, Mr. Lee reminded us. Wild animals roam this area at night, and they might try to steal your food. Once the party's over, the safety officers and I will put out the fire. Don't worry, they'll be taking turns on night watch. Just get some rest. After saying goodbye to Ray for the night, Jack and I went back to our tent. The temperature had dropped sharply. One by one, the surrounding tents went dark, leaving only the dying embers of the campfire glowing faintly. Jack was already asleep. I lay there, wide awake, scrolling through TK short videos with my phone on silent mode. That's when I heard it, soft, rustling noises, like something dragging across the ground. Then I saw it. A huge, shadowy figure cast against the wall of our tent. My breath caught in my throat. That wasn't human. What was that? Some kind of animal? My heart started to race. I didn't dare move. The next morning, everyone was already up, packing their things and getting ready for the rafting trip. But what happened last night still made my skin crawl. I hadn't fallen asleep because I was tired. I'd passed out from fear. Somewhere in the dark, I'd heard chewing, wet, slow, deliberate chewing. Like some animal was feasting right outside the tent. We had breakfast and started heading out. That's when I noticed something strange. Yesterday, there had been 2 safety officers walking with the guide. Now, there was only one. Could it be? Could one of them have been eaten? Hang in there, folks, Mr. Lee said cheerfully. We're almost at the rafting site. Once we reach the waterfall, feel free to take pictures. Those interested in rafting, head over to the safety officer for registration. Yes. Finally, the best part of the trip. I heard someone say. But then another voice chimed in, wait a second, where's the other safety officer? Everyone began to look around, and it became obvious. There had been 2. But now only one remained, walking quietly at the back of the group. The second safety officer had a personal emergency, Mr. Lee explained. A replacement has already been arranged by the company. Don't worry, everything's under control. Relieved gasps and chatter rippled through the group. Oh, thank God, it wasn't a bear or anything. We slept in the wild and nothing happened. We're fine. Yeah, chill. What could possibly go wrong with so many people around? Everyone seemed convinced. But I couldn't shake the unease in my chest. Then Mr. Lee glanced over at me. Just one look. It sent a chill down my spine. Jack noticed the color draining from my face. Hey, he said, are you all right? You look pale. Didn't sleep well? Sort of, I murmured. I don't know, I've just got this bad feeling. Is it because of the rafting? He asked. First-time nerves are totally normal. Actually, last night Anyone who hasn't tried rafting yet, Mr. Lee suddenly called out, now's the perfect time. Come sign up with me or the safety officer. If you choose to skip this part, you'll have to hike down to the next stop on your own. What? That's not fair, someone whined. I've been hiking all morning, I don't have the energy to walk down. In the end, the fear of more hiking won out. Everyone signed up for the rafting trip. Jack, Ray, and I registered together. Since Ray was traveling solo, I invited him to join us on the same raft. He happily agreed. Whatever I'd been planning to tell Jack, I forgot about it completely. The water was crisp and cold, washing away the summer heat and all my worries. I was lost in the thrill until I heard it. A scream. Then another. Followed by a deep, guttural roar. Animalistic. Terrifying. Bear. Run. Help. It's right behind you. Where's the safety officer? Screams overlapped with splashing and panicked shouting. We had the worst luck imaginable, we'd actually run into a bear during a rafting trip. There was a narrow section of the river where only one raft could pass at a time. The water was shallower and slower here. I saw it happen. A man was dragged off his raft by the bear. His scream echoed through the valley, loud and raw, until it stopped. Just cut off. Everyone panicked. Tourists jumped from their rafts, flailing, slipping, running into the forest in every direction. Jack, Ray, and I all leapt out, too, trying to find a safe place to hide. Don't run. Everyone stay together. Mr. Lee shouted through his megaphone. It took a while, but he managed to gather us all back. The safety officer had found a cave large enough to shelter all of us. Our group had originally been 13 people. Now, with one safety officer gone and one person dead, there were only 11 of us left. Please stay calm, Mr. Lee said. We've already contacted the ranger team for help. We're truly sorry for the experience. Once this is over, we'll fully refund all of you. As the afternoon wore on, rain began to fall. Thank God we had this cave. Otherwise, with the rain and dropping night temperatures, we might have frozen to death in the mountains. I'm heartbroken about the tourist we lost, Mr. Lee continued. But we need to stay focused. That bear, it's probably already eaten everything. The real danger now is that once a wild animal gets a taste for human flesh, it'll come back for more. It'll follow that scent next time it's hungry. So whatever happens, don't wander off alone. We nodded. A few people were already crying. Out of the 11 of us, 5 were women, 6 were men. At Mr. Lee's suggestion, the safety officer and guide organized us into 2 rotating night watch groups, composed of the 6 remaining men. No one was allowed to leave the cave until rescue arrived. The safety officer built another fire. With our help, he fashioned some crude spears out of thick branches, basic weapons to scare off animals, if needed. The night passed without another attack. But morning came, and there was still no sign of the ranger team. The safety officer tried the satellite phone again. Nothing. No answer. We were deep in the mountains now. No one had any cell signal. The anxiety was starting to eat me alive. Jack and Ray kept trying to comfort me. Another day passed. Still no help. The safety officer started to suspect something had happened to the ranger team, but quickly dismissed the thought. They're armed. There's no way they'd lose to a bear. Meanwhile, all our snacks and canned food were gone. If help didn't come soon, we weren't going to die from animals, we'd starve to death first. Someone finally suggested we split up. 2 groups. One led by the safety officer, the other by Mr. Lee. Each would forage for food and supplies, and we'd try to survive until rescue came. Jack, Ray, the safety officer, another male tourist, and I were in one group. The rest, Mr. Lee, 2 women, and 3 men, made up the second. We split up and went our separate ways. The forest was massive. We quickly lost contact with the other team, and the satellite phone couldn't reach them either. All we could do was set up camp somewhere safer and wait. 2 days later, we finally reconnected with the other group. But when we met up again, there were only 3 of them left. 3 out of 6. That bear wasn't just aggressive, it was a monster. It had killed 3 more people in just 2 days. I saw it bite a man's head off, one of them sobbed. It made this awful cracking sound. I don't want to die here. I don't want to die. You're not going to, Mr. Lee and the safety officer reassured everyone. We'll get through this. We will. But things had gone too far. We took a vote and agreed we couldn't wait around for rescue anymore. We had to find our own way out. As time went on, I started to notice something odd. The safety officer didn't seem to know the terrain at all. He was struggling to tell directions, getting confused by the slopes and trails. And I wasn't the only one who noticed. Others started whispering, frowning, glancing his way. Eventually, someone snapped. Under mounting pressure, the safety officer finally caved and confessed. I'm not really trained, he muttered. I'm just an adventure enthusiast. The certification, I paid for a fake one. The group went silent. Mr. Lee looked completely stunned. It was like a tower of trust collapsed all at once, and once that crumbles, it can't be rebuilt. Then one of the men punched the safety officer square in the face. This shitty company doesn't care if we live or die, he roared. I'm suing all of you. The group fell apart. Everyone scattered into smaller teams. No one wanted to follow a fraud through the wilderness. Jack, Ray, and I grabbed what little food we had left and headed off on our own. The rest reorganized into pairs and trios. Only the safety officer and Mr. Lee were left standing together. Unseen by anyone, once the others were out of sight. The 2 men exchanged a dark, twisted smile. Meanwhile, the 3 of us kept trying to get a signal on our phones. No luck. Maybe if we keep moving forward, Ray suggested. You know how in these remote areas, sometimes there's a ranger cabin or something. I've heard that too, Jack nodded. It's worth a shot. We can't just sit and wait. I agreed. We had nowhere else to go, and just had to pray that bear, or whatever it was, wasn't in this part of the forest. We headed in the opposite direction from where we'd split with the others. The deeper we went, the thicker the underbrush became. And then, an awful stench hit us. What the hell is that smell? I gagged. Like rotten eggs. Like something dead. Ray pinched his nose. Do you think it's the tourist who got dragged away? The smell got worse with every step. I started dry heaving. Jack and Ray weren't doing much better. Then we saw it. Clothing scraps. Chunks of human flesh. It was the body, or what was left, of the man who had been taken by the bear. His skull had been hollowed out. His eyes were gone, leaving only gaping black sockets and a contorted, grotesque face. Most of his limbs were missing. His torso had been completely gutted, stripped of organs, reduced to bone and stringy bits of flesh. We all threw up. Simultaneously. Violently. That's brutal, Jack choked out. I clung to his hand, trembling. Ray's face had gone pale. Lily, he said, we need to get the hell out of here. Jack nodded, helping steady me. Yeah. This isn't just some random kill site. Based on how the bear didn't bury or hide the body, this is part of its territory. At least within a kilometer, maybe more. It might be hunting elsewhere right now, or it could be on its way back. Bears are extremely territorial, he added. Ray and I stared at Jack, horrified. If that thing came back, we were done. We'd be next. We started moving. Fast. We were about halfway up the mountain now. If we climb a little higher, Jack suggested, we might be able to get a signal. The trees and slopes down here are probably blocking everything. We pushed upward, driven by fear, and maybe a little divine intervention, until we stumbled across something completely unexpected. A house. A real, solid, 2-story cabin made of cement, surrounded by a 4-meter-high concrete wall topped with spikes. The gate was locked, but there was an old-fashioned bell hanging from it. We rang it, hard. Hello? We're from a tour group. We ran into a bear, can you help us? The clanging echoed unnaturally in the quiet mountain air. No answer. We were about to give up when, click. The gate creaked open. A man in his late 20s stood in the doorway, holding a hunting rifle over his back. The sun had already set. The air was rapidly cooling. He led us inside and made us hot ginger tea. This'll help with the chill, he said. His name was Yoon, and he told us he came from a long line of hunters who had lived in this mountain range for generations. Years ago, there had been a horrific wildlife incident in this very area. All the park rangers stationed here had pulled out after the attack. 7 people had died. There had been 8 rangers total. The only survivor was a 9-year-old boy. But even he hadn't really survived. He lost both legs and his mind. All 8 of the dead were his family, Yoon said. Parents. Uncles. Cousins. When they found him, he was babbling like crazy. Kept repeating the same thing over and over, "Uncle ate them. Uncle ate them." We sat in stunned silence. Then Yoon glanced at us and muttered, almost like a joke, "Maybe that kid wasn't lying. Maybe there's something else in these mountains." Jack and Ray laughed it off. "Okay, you got us. Nice campfire horror story." But I wasn't so sure. Something about his words made my blood run cold. Yoon saw our unease and chuckled. "I'm kidding. You guys should get some rest." We said goodnight to Ray and went to our assigned rooms. That night, as I lay next to Jack, I kept replaying Yoon's words in my mind. Eventually, exhaustion won out, and I drifted off. The next morning, he woke us early. "Breakfast is ready." He brought us a few plates of coarse, rough food. "Not much variety up here," he said. "Hope this'll do for now. I'll try contacting the rangers again later, have them come get you." "Thank you." "Seriously," I said. "We owe you." "No need for that," he smiled. "People should help each other out." Over breakfast, we told Yoon everything about the rafting, the bear, the deaths. His expression darkened. "You said you were attacked during the rafting?" We nodded. "But you never actually saw the bear up close?" "No. The people in front probably did. One of them was dragged off. We found the body later, up on the slope. There was barely anything left. Just bones." Yoon lit a cigarette and stared out the window. "That might not have been a bear." We looked at him, startled. "You think it was something else?" Jack asked. "Maybe the kid was right," Yoon muttered. "Maybe there's something else out there, something that hunts humans." Our eyes widened. "What do you mean there are no bears in this part of the mountain?" Yoon took a long drag on his cigarette, exhaled slowly, then said, "We're on the southern side of the range. All that's left in this area are rabbits, wild turkeys, harmless animals. The northern side is completely cut off, and that's where the bears, wolves, and other dangerous species live now." "But why are the areas separated?" I asked. "They weren't always," Yoon said. "But after the attack years ago, the Forestry Service relocated all dangerous wildlife to the north. This side, well, a river here was ideal for rafting, so a tourism company leased the land and turned it into an attraction." He looked at us seriously. "Think about it. You never actually saw the bear with your own eyes, right?" We shook our heads. "You said your guide and safety officer contacted the ranger team after the incident?" he asked, flicking ash from his cigarette. "Yes," I said. "They told us to wait in the cave for rescue. We were there for over a day. No one came. And the so-called safety officer turned out to be a fraud, he bought a fake certification." "That's insane," Yoon muttered. "Let me call the rangers and see if they got any distress signals." He picked up his satellite phone and dialed. "Search and rescue, when did you receive the last emergency call?" he asked. "A few days ago?" "No, nothing's come in this past week?" "All right. I've got 3 tourists here who claim they were attacked by a bear. 4 confirmed deaths. Please send a team to the southern range. And tell them not to move from this location until you're there." After hanging up, Yoon turned to us. "Stay here tonight. The rangers said they'll arrive by tomorrow evening." We nodded. Yoon began telling us more stories about his time in the mountains, but before he could finish. Ding, ding, ding. The doorbell suddenly rang. "Is anyone there?" a voice called out from outside. "We're part of a tour group. We were attacked, can you help us?" "Doesn't look like anyone's home," another voice said. "Maybe we should go." Yoon quickly motioned for us to follow him upstairs. From the second-floor window, we peered out. It was them. Our group. Recognizing the familiar faces, Yoon rushed downstairs and opened the gate. "Oh, thank God," one of the girls gasped. "We thought no one was here." "Come in," Yoon said. "You want to be out there with that bear chasing you?" It was nearly sunset. 4 people stood in front of us, Mr. Lee, a male tourist named Qi who was into photography, and 2 women, Anais, a Chinese-Russian tourist, and Alicia, a foodie. "The safety officer sacrificed himself to protect us," Alicia whispered, trembling. We have to stay alive." For her. The next day, the rain started. It poured relentlessly. The hours dragged like days. We waited. And Yoon's expression grew darker. Everyone knew what was coming. If this rain continued, the mountain slopes could collapse. And then it happened. The rain caused a mudslide. The ranger team, who had apparently arrived early, got trapped on the other side of a newly formed stream, separated by the landslide. We had no choice but to wait. Eventually, the rain let up. We were told the rangers had secured ropes across the rushing water so we could cross to safety one by one. "Don't panic," the ranger captain shouted. "One at a time. Steady." Our group went first, Jack, Ray, and I crossed safely. Then the others started crossing. Mr. Lee and two more people were midstream when suddenly, two giant, dark shapes emerged about 50 meters away. Even with limited visibility, everyone on our side could see them clearly. Bears. "Hurry," the ranger captain barked. He and another ranger raised their rifles, aiming toward the approaching beasts. Yoon lifted his hunting gun, ready to fire. The people in the river panicked. The man in the middle looked back and screamed, scrambling to shore, not caring how much the current hurt as it whipped around his legs. Now only Alicia and Yoon were left. One of the bears, intimidated by the group, backed off. But the other one charged. It bolted toward Alicia like a demon unleashed. She spun in confusion, running in every direction like a headless chicken. Yoon raised his gun and fired. The bear roared and smacked him aside with terrifying force. Yoon flew several feet and crumpled to the ground, unmoving. The bear lunged at Alicia. Bang! A shot rang out. The brown bear collapsed, dead. Where's the other one?" someone whispered. No movement. No sound. No second bear. The rangers moved quickly, helping everyone get across the river. Alicia, shaking violently, stared at the corpse. "That," she stammered, "that was the safety officer, it turned into the safety officer." Everyone froze. The captain rushed to check on Yoon. He was still breathing, just unconscious. A few minutes later, when Yoon came to, we told him what Alicia said. "A bear turning into the safety officer?" someone muttered in disbelief. Yoon looked stunned. His mind flashed back to the boy from 3 years ago. The one who kept saying, "Uncle ate them. Uncle ate them." "They're called Morozorola," the boy had claimed. "They can shapeshift into anything. They trick you. And then they eat you." "I'm not crazy. I'm not lying. Uncle told me himself." Yoon was still dazed as the captain carried him back to our side of the river. Alicia was in shock. She couldn't form a single coherent sentence. "Let's rest here," the captain said. "Let Yoon recover. After that, we'll head back to his cabin. It's the safest place for now." "No," I said. "We waited so long for rescue. I don't want to go back there." "I agree," someone else said. The captain explained that the weather conditions had worsened down the mountain. For now, it was safest to stay put. No one wanted to sleep out in the open, so reluctantly, we agreed. Once back at the house, Yoon gathered us and spoke seriously. "I need to tell you all what I know about Morozorola." "What even is that?" someone scoffed. "Sounds made up." "Just listen," Yoon said, looking grave. "I know it sounds insane, but you saw it yourself. A bear turned into the safety officer. The first safety officer who went back down. That was him. I don't know why he chose to go after Alicia in front of so many people. Maybe something triggered it. But I'm telling you, this thing is cunning." We fell silent. Because deep down, we knew Yoon was right. The first officer disappeared. Then the bear appeared. Then the panic. It all made sense. Split the group. Pick off the stragglers. Hunt them one by one. That's what it was doing. Jack, Ray, and I had always stuck together. That's probably why we hadn't been attacked. And according to Yoon, there shouldn't have been any bears in the southern range at all. Which meant there were no bears. It had all been Morozorola. From now on, Yoon said, no one leaves the house. Anyone could be Morozorola. No one objected. Yoon then turned to the ranger captain and narrowed his eyes. "Captain. Just one question. Why did only 2 of you come?" "There were 4 of us," the captain replied. "But because of the storm, we split up, 2 stayed behind to monitor the mountain base." "Of course," Yoon said. "Makes sense." "Sorry I asked." "Don't worry about it." That night, no one slept well. The next morning, Anais was the first to wake. She went to the window and peered out. Just outside the house stood someone she recognized. "Hillary," she whispered. Her old friend. Her lover. She was entranced. The noise woke everyone up. "Anais, don't," we cried. "That's not real." But she didn't hear us. Or didn't care. She bolted out the door. Yoon tried to stop her, but she was already gone. We slammed the gate shut. Anais was too far gone. After everything that had happened, her mind had fractured. She ran toward the figure and embraced her. "Darling. I've missed you so much." As she leaned in to kiss her, the figure twisted Aeneas's neck with a sickening snap and dragged her away before our eyes. These things weren't just monsters. They were pure evil. Am I next? Someone whispered. Let's not jump to conclusions, the captain said. We're safe for now. Let's just rest. There were 9 of us left. Yoon's house had 5 rooms, 3 downstairs, 2 upstairs. Jack and I took the first room on the ground floor. QI and Yoon were across the hall. The captain and the other ranger were in the 3rd room. Upstairs, the 2 rooms faced the same direction. Ray didn't want to share a room with strangers, so he took one. Mr. Lee and Alicia shared the other. That night, we all turned in early. The next morning, I woke up to find an airdrop on my phone. It was from Ray. A screenshot of a memo. 2 words. Take a photo. Confused, I headed upstairs to ask what it meant. Then I heard Alicia scream. Everyone rushed to Ray's room. I pushed through the crowd. Ray was dead. His wrists were slashed. Blood everywhere. It looked like suicide. But I knew he didn't kill himself. It had to be Morozorola. It was in the house with us now. I didn't tell anyone about Ray's message. Not yet. But I was sure he'd figured something out. And it got him killed. Yoon, who was the first to find the body? I did, said Alicia. Me and the tour guide. Mr. Lee nodded. That's right. We were heading to Ray's room to call him down for breakfast. When we walked in, there was blood everywhere, on the bed, on the floor. He was already gone by then. I can back up what he said, Alicia added. We even checked the windows, they were locked from the inside. The forest warden captain narrowed his eyes. And how do we know you two aren't working together? What if both of you are Morozorola? Good point, someone muttered. So we made the call to reorganize the sleeping arrangements. After cleaning out the storage room downstairs, everyone moved to the 1st floor. Jack and I stayed in the same room as before, first on the left. Next to us were QI and Yoon. Across the hall now were the 2 suspects, Alicia and Mr. Lee. And beside them, the captain and the remaining forest ranger. Once the rooms were assigned, we agreed to keep Ray's body upstairs for now. We'd bury him after the monster was dealt with. We all went to our rooms early, but none of us could sleep. The air was heavy with suspicion. I kept thinking about Ray's final message, take a photo with your phone. Could it mean the camera could reveal who's really Morozorola? I glanced at Jack beside me. A thought crept in. What if he's... What's wrong? He asked, catching my stare. Nothing, I said quickly. Let's take a selfie, just, in case we make it out alive. Jack agreed. I snapped one with the front camera, then pretended it didn't look good and used the rear camera instead. My heart thudded as I checked the photos. Nothing strange. We looked normal. I exhaled. The next morning, QI was found dead. Brutally murdered. All eyes turned to Yoon. Captain, someone said. Yoon shared a room with QI. He must be Morozorola. I don't know what you're talking about, Yoon said. The captain grabbed his collar. If you're not the monster, then why would it kill QI and spare you? You were right there. You didn't notice anything? Yoon shoved him back and calmly lit a cigarette. You're the one being suspicious here. Maybe you're the monster. I've already said Morozorola is cunning. It killed QI while I was asleep, knowing full well suspicion would fall on me. It wants you to have a reason to execute me. I don't have that kind of authority, said the captain. But everyone else thinks you do, Yoon said, laughing coldly. Cut the act. I figured it out already. You and the other ranger, you're both Morozorola. We all stared at him. Could it be true? I'm not really the son of a hunter, Yoon went on. I'm a fugitive. I came to this mountain to hide. The old man who lived here before took me in. He was kind. But then he found out who I really was. I had no choice. I killed him. That day, I really did call for help. But the rescue was supposed to come at night. You two showed up 10 hours early. And you said the rest of your team was waiting below, but I doubt they exist. Based on the terrain, the fastest rescue time would have been mid-afternoon at best. You ambushed the others, didn't you? And the person up in the tree that day? That was your partner, right? As for that bear, no, that was Morozorola. It hadn't eaten in too long and lost control, which is why it went for Alicia. You creatures don't even hesitate to kill your own kind. The captain went for his gun. But Yoon was faster. He slashed the captain's throat with a hidden blade and grabbed the gun, turning it on the remaining ranger. 2 shots. Both were dead. It all happened in an instant. None of us moved. We were frozen with fear. The bodies lay still. But unlike the bear earlier, they didn't transform. Alicia trembled. You killed innocent people. Yoon sneered. Spare me your morality speech. I'm a wanted man, not a saint. Still, I do have principles. Sort of. Depending on my mood. He twirled the gun. Now, everyone back to your rooms. You're all about to be contestants in a death game. We didn't have a choice. With the gun pointed at us, we filed back into our rooms. Now only 5 of us remained, me, Jack, Alicia, Mr. Lee, and Yoon. 2 hours later, Yoon forced us out again. All right, folks. Time for a vote, he said, grinning. You're going to vote for who you think is Morozorola. Yes, you can vote for me too. He handed out cards. By my count, at least one of you is still a monster. If you vote correctly, I'll let the survivors go. If not, well, tough luck. You've got 30 minutes. Good luck. My mind raced. 5 people, including Yoon. Jack and I had 2 votes. If Alicia and Mr. Lee voted for either of us, and we voted for one of them in return, Yoon would hold the deciding vote. Unless we forced a tie. If we split the votes carefully, the round would be voided. And if Yoon voted for me or Jack, and we all voted for him, then he'd have the most votes, but obviously wouldn't eliminate himself. Again, vote voided. It played out exactly like I expected, a tie. You're clever, Yoon said. But I don't play by rules. Without hesitation, he shot Mr. Lee in the chest. Alicia collapsed in sobs, shaking. Well, Yoon said, stepping over the body. That's one more problem solved. Now go get some sleep. You're free to leave in the morning, if I don't change my mind. Wait, I asked. How do you know the guide was Morozorola? You told me your whole story. Out of all of you, he was the most suspicious. That night, Jack and I breathed a little easier. We talked about going home, about surviving. But something didn't sit right. I couldn't shake the feeling. Morning came. We stepped out of our room and saw Yoon's door wide open. A chill went down my spine. Cautiously, we stepped inside. He was lying face down on the bed. His head was twisted 180 degrees. His skull was hollowed out, face stretched like a mask. His back was empty, just a spine and some ribs. He'd been dead for hours. Based on the body's stiffness, I guessed it had happened sometime between 1:30 and 2:30 a.m. I gagged, ran to the bathroom to throw up. But Jack and I knew we had to act fast. We returned to Yoon's room to get the guns. He had 2 handguns from the captain and the ranger. The hunting rifle had been lost when the bear threw him. Now, it was just me, Jack, and Alicia. Could Alicia be the last one? Jack and I exchanged glances, guns in hand. We opened her door. She was asleep. On the table, sleeping pills. Not many, but enough to knock her out. We woke her up. What are you doing? Don't kill me. Please. It's okay, I said, lowering the gun. Calm down. Yoon's dead. You killed him? No. He was killed by Morozorola. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. I can't. I don't want to see that. Once she calmed down, I told them my theory. There's still one Morozorola left. I racked my memory. Something was missing. The bears. The day of the rescue, do you remember? Yeah, Alicia said. There were 2. One of them charged at me. Right. One had been killed. The first one, it had turned out to be the first security officer. Let's go check the guide's body. My boyfriend, Alicia, and I went to the lobby to check the guide's body. Just as we suspected, it had transformed into the true form of Morozorola. Yoon had been right. He'd guessed correctly and shot the monster dead in one hit. Everything we'd overlooked now suddenly clicked into place. The tour guide, along with the 2 security guards, had all been Morozorola. But the second security guard saved us, Alicia said, confused. She was dragged away herself. She was dragged away, I said. But maybe that was just part of the plan. A distraction to make you believe she died. That way, they could move on with whatever came next. What plan? My boyfriend and Alicia asked in unison. I looked around the lobby and toward the staircase, then pulled the 2 of them into Alicia's room and shut the door gently behind us. In a hushed voice, I asked. Do you remember what we did after Ray was killed? We left his body upstairs. Said we'd bury it after the rescue team arrived. Exactly. And who made that suggestion first? Realization struck them both. It was the captain, and the guide, my boyfriend said slowly. After Ray died, I continued, I've been following the clues. Alicia, you shared a room with the guide. Based on your sleep meds, I'm guessing you were in no shape to stay alert that night. She nodded. Yeah. I have terrible insomnia. I need medication to sleep deeply. Then on the night Ray died, I said, you probably took your usual dose. Honestly, maybe you'd already given up by then. I might have, she admitted quietly. Once you were in deep sleep, I continued, the guide and the security guards could have coordinated. All 3 rooms on the first floor had people, yes, but everyone kept their doors shut, and we didn't assign anyone to stay up on watch. So the hallway leading upstairs would have been easy to move through unnoticed. I've been suspecting for a while now, I added, that the Ray we found might not have been Ray at all. The guide waited until we were asleep, let the Morozorola in, and the monster ate Ray, completely. Then it transformed into him and staged a fake suicide scene. You said the guide checked for a pulse, I said to Alicia. But, you never actually confirmed it yourself, did you? She slowly shook her head. No. The guide told me Ray was beyond saving, and I just believed him. Which confirmed my theory. So that means, my boyfriend said, the last Morozorola is upstairs, pretending to be Ray's body. We nodded grimly. None of us dared go up there to confirm it, though. If it was true and he attacked, we'd stand no chance. So, on my suggestion, my boyfriend and I hid in Alicia's room. There was a large wardrobe directly facing her bed, better than hiding under the bed, since we could jump out faster to help her if anything happened. Now there were just 3 of us left. We knew Morozorola would strike again tonight. And between Alicia and Jack, Alicia was the easier target. If I was right, he would come for her. Midnight came. The doorknob turned. Slowly, the door creaked open. Alicia, wide awake without sleep aids, lay on her side facing away from the door, her whole body tense. She could feel the air change as the thing entered the room. Every hair on her body stood up. As it reached out toward her. Bang! Jack and I fired in the dark, then burst out of the wardrobe. Alicia jolted up, flicking on the bedside lamp. And there it was. Ray's corpse. My theory was right. Unfortunately, the shot had missed his vital organs. You think you could guess me? The thing snarled. Then, in a flash, it lunged at Alicia, jamming 5 fingers into her chest and ripping at her heart. It happened too fast. By the time we reacted, Alicia's heart was already in his hand. Jack and I emptied our guns into him. The monster collapsed. We fired several more times to be sure. Finally, when there was no sign of life, we slumped to the floor. The last Morozorola was dead. But we hadn't saved Alicia. Guilt and sorrow consumed us. She had died horribly, right in front of us. We returned to our room. Exhaustion and trauma overtook us, and we fell into a deep sleep. When we woke up the next day, it was nearly noon. Jack and I held each other, crying, just grateful to still be alive. I forced myself to go into Yoon's room. After searching for a while, I found a satellite phone and immediately contacted the forest rescue team, sharing our location. Jack, meanwhile, buried the bodies and the guns. We found some meat in the kitchen. I cooked it quickly, added a ton of seasoning, and ate like I hadn't eaten in days. It was too salty to tell if it was beef or chicken. What kind of meat is this? I asked. Should be goat, Jack said. Found it in the freezer. Smelled gamey, so I added a lot of spice. Why? Bad? Just salty. After we regained some strength, we went down the mountain to wait for rescue. Eventually, the forest rangers escorted us safely away from that nightmare. Back in our rental, I said to Jack, if I ever want to go to some remote mountain again, show me that photo. Remind me how close I came to dying. Deal, he said, chuckling. Mimi, our cat, rubbed against my leg, meowing nonstop. What is it, Mimi? I laughed. You want a photo too? Meow. She really did sound like she understood. Okay, don't rush me. I squatted down with my phone, about to flip to the rear camera to take her picture. But Mimi's paws clung to my phone. I lost my grip, and the phone fell, angled between my shoe and the floor. Luckily, the screen didn't crack. Jack was lounging nearby, scrolling on his phone. When I picked mine back up, I accidentally tapped the shutter. Let's take one together, I said, looking at the preview. But then I froze. The photo I had just taken, angled upside down, showed a creature with goblin-like ears, covered in patchy, mottled skin. The monster. The truth hit me. You have to flip the phone upside down to reveal Morozorola's true form. Hey, Lee, Jack said behind me, smiling. Still want to take that photo? I jerked awake, gasping. It was a nightmare. Jack sat beside me on the bed, holding me gently. Yeah, are you okay? I nodded, still shaking. Trying to calm my breath, I remembered the dream. Slowly, quietly, I picked up my phone. I turned it upside down and snapped a photo of Jack while nestled in his arms. On the screen, a patchy-skinned, hideous monster was staring back at me.